What is your leadership style like?
I was always told that my leadership style was pretty bossy, like I would always boss my orientees around, but I didn't feel that way. I just felt like I was just telling them what they needed to do and they would just do it. So I figure I'm probably more of an authoritarian type of leadership style where I'm more like telling you what you need to do, but I guess that's just me.
My leadership style is I'm kind of a goofball. I make a lot of fun of myself because I want my orientees to get to know that it's, orientation is not so serious as they might think it might be, so I just kind of make really silly gestures and just say random stuff, and usually it comes off as, I'm just being myself and they can kind of relax and just be along for the ride and it's good times.
I'm definitely an autocratic leader. That's like someone who's kind of bossy. So I'm a bossy leader in general. I like to take control of situations, but I think that when I was in OGL, I kind of hung back a little bit. When I was with my groups, I was more calm. I was just kind of all right guys, this is what we're doing. I wasn't super bossy to them. I kind of let them do what they wanted to do and that sort of thing. So
I'm definitely a very positive person, and I think just having a positive attitude is probably my leadership style. I'm not always the loudest, but yeah.
I don't know. I try to be friends with people, I guess. I try not to seem during an orientation, I try not to seem like I was their superior, because honestly, a lot of them the orientees were my age or just a year younger. So, just talk to them like equals, like normal people, but still lead them in an effective way.
I'd say that my leadership style is pretty outgoing, but it can also be professional. I guess I kind of have the ability to switch from being, friendly and personable, but then being responsible and just getting things done.
In a brief statement, how did you conduct an orientation?
I conducted an orientation just by telling them what I expected from them, asking them what they expected from me, and making sure that I met their expectations while trying my best to make sure that they met mine.
How did I conduct an orientation? I did the things we needed to do. I made a lot of jokes about it. I made fun of myself and my orientees, and generally we had fun. I might have screwed up a couple times, but I just learned from it.
I just tried to be really genuinely enthusiastic about things on campus, because I really do love OU, and honest with my orientees, and try to tailor every orientation to your specific group's needs.
When I was an orientation group leader, I was laid back enough so that people wanted to listen to me, but I was also informative enough so that when they did listen, they got the appropriate information.
I would say I conducted an orientation efficiently, enthusiastically, with motivation, fun, knowledgeably, ambitiously, respectfully, and determined.
Can you elaborate on working with students in the advising labs?
When you work with students in the advising labs, it's always I always found it really interesting to kind of stand behind them and watch them register for class, and just kind of just be around for when they ask questions. Usually during orientation, you learn to spot out the question face, when somebody's confused, because not a lot of orientees are willing to ask questions or raise their hand if they're having a problem. So you should just immediately just be able to see, oh, this person is confused, let me go over there and ask them if they need help.
You definitely have to know what you're doing. Not every student's the same. There are some students who know what they're doing and know what classes they already want to take and already have it planned out before they come to orientation. And then you have students who literally have no clue what they're doing, and you have to help them, walk them through it, sort of thing. So definitely remember that no one's ever the same.
It gets hectic sometimes. I think the important thing to remember is just if you're calm, it really helps all the students in the advising lab be calm, and that makes your job and their day a lot better.
Working with students in the advising rooms was awful.
Working with students in advising labs was probably one of my favorite parts about an orientation, just because, as I stated earlier, that was something that I had a different experience with as a new student. But what I do remember about my freshman orientation, even though I didn't really have a good time registering for classes, I really remembered the student staff who helped me. So I think as an OGL, it's really important to put yourself in the student's shoes, see where they're coming from, recognize that they've been at orientation all day, they're probably tired and confused, and so just be patient with them.
Oh, advising is fun. No, advising was actually one of my favorite parts of the day. But I worked in the advising resource lab, so that could be pretty stressful. You have to be really patient because the students are not patient and they don't know what they're doing. So you have to be patient for them and try to make them feel like they know what they're doing. And if someone just won't pick a class, you kind of just have to trick them into it. Like, go step by step and be like, okay, so you have to fulfill this science gen ed. You could take bio or chemistry, or I wasn't really good at those things, so I took health science. But then also there's blah, blah, blah. And then just keep going through it, and then they'll be like, well, wait, what was that class that you mentioned? This is a trick.
So Katie advised in the advising.
I did not advise.
Yeah, we'll write that down.
I said what I took.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a Jedi mind trick.
Okay.
Yes.